Hello guys, welcome to the class. Today we are going to discuss about majorly two types of bearings. One is the sliding contact bearing and another one is the rolling contact bearing. In the previous class we are already discussed about this type of introduction related to bearings point of view. So let's start with the classification of sliding contact bearings. The sliding contact bearings are generally classified into two types based on the two considerations. First one is the based on the sliding action between the journal and bearing, and another one is the based on the thickness of lubricant. So these are the two considerations for the classification of sliding contact bearings. Let's start with the first one, based on the sliding action. Which one takes sliding action along the circumference of circle or in arc of circle is called journal or maybe sleeve bearing. So based on the angle of contact of bearing, these are classified into three types. Let's see, first one is the full journal bearing. Here what is the full journal bearing? When the angle of contact of the bearing with the journal is the 360 degrees is called full journal bearing. If you find out this diagram, this is about the journal and this one is the bearing. The angle of contact between the journal and bearing here is completely 360 degrees. So these type of bearings are called full journal bearings. And when we discuss about the applications point of view of full journal bearings, these are widely used in the industrial applications, whereas a load acts in a radial direction. So this is about the full journal bearing. And next one is the partial journal bearing. So what is the partial journal bearing here? When angle of contact of bearing with the journal is 120 degrees is called partial journal bearing. These have less friction than full journal bearings. This is about the difference between full and partial journal bearings. And when we discuss about applications point of view of partial journal bearing, these are used where load acts in only one direction, mostly used in the railroads and as well as car axials. This is about the applications of partial journal bearing. If you find out full and partial journal bearings, this diameter of journal is less than the bearing. So that's why these type of bearings, full and partial journal bearings, are called clearance bearings. So this is about a full and partial journal bearings. And next we are going to discuss about a third one, fitted journal bearing. So what is the fitted journal bearing? When partial journal bearing has no clearance, means the diameter of journal and bearing are equal. Where the diameter of the journal and bearing are equal, that type of partial journal bearings are called fitted journal bearings. So this is about the classification of sliding contact bearings based on the sliding action. And next one, based on the thickness of lubricant, bearings are classified into different types. Let's see what are there. First one is the thick film bearings. What is the thick film bearings? The working surface area is completely divided by the lubricant. These type of bearings are called thick film bearings, and it is also called hydrodynamic lubricated bearing. So this is about the thick film bearings. Second one is the thin film bearings. How we are define the thin film bearings? The working surface partially contact each other at least one part of the time. These type of bearings are called thin film bearings, and it is also called boundary lubricated bearings. So this is about the thick and thin film bearings. And third one is the zero film bearings. So how we are define the zero film bearings? Which one operates without any lubricant? So that type of bearings are called zero film bearings. And fourth one is the hydrostatic or externally pressurized lubricated bearings. The hydrostatic bearings are those which can support steady loads without any relative motion between the journal and the bearings. These type of bearings are called hydrostatic or externally pressurized lubricated bearings. So this is about the classification of bearings based on the thickness of the lubricant. This is about the classification of sliding contact bearings, and after that we are already discussed what are the materials required and which properties are required for the sliding contact bearings in the previous lecture. And next we are going to discuss about rolling contact bearings. This is the overview of rolling contact bearing. The rolling contact bearings are consists of an inner race which is mounted on a shaft or journal, and outer race is carried by the housing or casing. In between the inner and outer race, balls and rollers are placed. So this is about that introduction of rolling contact bearing. So if we find out this diagram, here we have one outer ring and one inner ring. Between the outer and inner ring we have on balls. If you find out this one outer ring ball race and this one is the inner ring ball race. Between the inner ring and outer ring of ball race we have one separator. It is called a retainer or casing. So this is about the arrangement of balls and rollers between the journal and as well as the bearing. So this is about rolling contact bearing, and next we are going to discuss about what is the classification of rolling contact bearing. The rolling contact bearings are classified into two types. One is the ball bearings and another one is the roller bearings. Here in ball bearings we are preferred balls between the inner and outer rings, and in case of roller bearings we are preferred rollers between the inner and outer rings. Let's see, first one is the ball bearings. The ball bearings are again classified into different types based on the arrangement of balls between the inner and outer rings. So first one is the single row deep groove ball bearing. In this single row deep groove ball bearings, the races are offset and maximum number of balls are placed between the races. These type of bearings are used where high running speeds required and as well as to carry the high loads. So this is about the single row deep groove ball bearing. And next one is the filling notch bearings. In filling notch bearings, these have notches inner and outer races to insert more balls than deep groove ball bearings. So this is about the filling notch bearings. And next one is the angular contact bearing. In the angular contact bearing, it have one side of the outer race cut to permit and to insert more balls compared to deep groove ball bearing. So this is about angular contact bearing. And next one is the double row ball bearing. If you find out the double row ball bearing, these are made with the radial and as well as the angular act between the balls and races. And next one is the self-aligning bearings. These permit shafts deflection within 2 to 3 degrees. So this is about the classification of ball bearings based on their arrangement of balls. And next one is the classification of roller bearings. Let's see that one. The roller bearings also classified into different types. Let's see what are there. First one is the cylindrical roller bearing. These are have short roller guided in a case. It have a lowest coefficient of friction compared to remaining bearings. And when we are discuss about applications point of view, these are used in a high speed services. Next one is the spherical roller bearings. These are self-aligning bearings. These are normally tolerates the misalignment is between the 1 to 1.5 degrees. These are carry a thrust loads in any direction. Next one is the needle bearings. These needle bearings are relatively slender and completely fill the space. When we discuss about here the applications of needle bearings for heavy loads with the oscillatory motion conditions, we are prefer the needle bearings. The best example for needle bearings applications of piston pin bearings are in a diesel engine. And next one is the taper roller bearings. The taper roller bearings are carrying both radial and thrust loads. So this is about that classification of roller bearings and as well as the ball bearings in a rolling contact bearings. And next we are going to discuss about what are the materials required for rolling contact bearings and as well as what are the properties are considered at the time of selection of materials. And after that, which type of lubricants are needed in a rolling contact bearings. Let's see these points. Materials and manufacturing for ball and roller bearings. Since the rolling elements and the races are subjected to high local stresses of varying of magnitude with each revolution of the bearing, so that's why the material of the rolling element should be having a high quality. The balls are generally made of high carbon chromium steels. The material of both the balls and races are heat treated to give extra hardness and toughness, and the balls are manufactured by hard forging on hammers from steel rods. They are then heat treated around and polished. The races are also formed by forging. So this is about the materials condition and as well as the what are the manufacturing uh, processes are involved here. And next we are going to discuss about what are the lubricants are used in a rolling contact bearings. In the previous class, we are already discussed the need of lubrication in a bearings. Similarly, in ball and roller bearings also, a lubrication it is the mandatory. Let's see what is the need of lubrication here. First one is the to reduce the friction and wear between the sliding parts of the bearings, and second one is the to prevent a rusting or corrosion of the bearing surfaces, and third one is the to protect the bearing surfaces from the water and dirt, etc. And finally, one more requirement is here to dissipate the heat from the bearings. So this is the need of a lubrication in ball and roller bearings. And next we are going to discuss about what are the advantages of rolling bearings compared to journal bearings. First one is the a starting friction torque is about twice the running frictional torque, but still is negligible compared to sleeve bearings. So that's why here we are not consider the starting friction torque is a very less compared to journal bearings. And next one is the it is a easy of lubrication either with a grease or maybe relatively simple system. Third one is the less axial space for a comfortable shaft diameter. And fourth one is the capable of supporting both radial and thrust loads. If you find out the journal bearings are is applicable for only one direction of load, but these are applicable for both radial and thrust loads. And fifth one is the early warning of impending failure slided by increasing noises and at the same speed of the operation. So this is one more advantage. When any failure will be formed, it is easy to find out where is the failure is occurred. And next one is the standardization and close tolerances make preferable their use in a precious machinery. And next one easy to mount and erect. And finally eighth one is the cleanliness is one of the advantage in rolling contact bearings. These are the advantages of rolling contact bearings compared to journal bearings. And next, what are the disadvantages? First one is the greater diametrical space required for a comparable shaft diameter. And second one is the initial cost is usually higher. If you find out the cost of the journal bearing is very less compared to rolling bearings, that's why it is one of the disadvantage here. And third one is the it is a noisier in a normal operation. If you find out when we are using the rolling contact bearings, they are very noise at the normal operation point of view also. And fourth one is the finite life due to failure by fatigue. With the help of rolling contact bearings, the failures will be occur due to the fatigue condition. So that's why it is also one of the disadvantages here. And finally next one, a lesser capacity to withstand shock. So that's why these are not having a capable to withstand the locks, because here we are using the steel or maybe carbon chromium materials. So that's why these all are the disadvantages of rolling contact bearings compared to journal bearings. So this is about the sliding and rolling contact bearings. And next we are going to discuss about design of sliding and rolling contact bearings. And this lecture and what we have discussed in the previous lecture, these are all the theoretical points related to bearings. And this is about the today class. In the next class we are going to discuss what is the design process of sliding contact bearing and rolling contact bearings. If you have any queries regarding this lecture, please comment in comment box, and thank you for your watching.